Every time I come around, dawg, got the whole hood checking for me. With no fear, I bring it out, dawg. Cause I got my bros next to me. Cause I got my bros next to me. Cause I got my bros next to me. With no fear,
Cursed shall he be in the city.
Cursed shall we be in the city. What city we in? Sacramento. What do you see? A majority of the people that's in power. Us.
Shooting just like a shot. I got my mask on, cutting and slicing like I'm a doctor. This for you, and all your partners. Come at me with a doctrine, but I'ma stop. God call you rubies and gold. You act like copper. Edomites run around in life like y'all can.
Something that you picked up today about our history.
It's definitely an eye opener.
You say you a gangster, but snipping up all your product while your brother getting shot in the street. Say that's the problem.
Hey, every time I come around, dawg, got the whole hood checking for me. With no fear, I bring it out, dawg. Cause I got my bros next to me.
Verse 17.
It says, and whilst they sin not before their God,
So when we didn't sin before our God, come on,
they prospered.
we did what?
They prospered.
When we didn't sin before our God, we prospered. We ruled the world. And everything under the sun was under our dominion. Read.
Because the God that hated iniquity was with them.
Because the God that hated sin was with us. He ain't with nobody else. That extracts the Bible from being inclusive right there.
You said iniquity?
Yeah, iniquity is sin. Sin is saying the same thing. Go ahead.
But when they departed from the way,
But when we departed from our way, the way that God gave us,
which he appointed to them,
which he appointed unto us,
they were destroyed.
what do you see right now? We see our people right now going against God's will, which is his commandments. And that's why you see a whole bunch of us homeless. That's why you see a whole bunch of us in jail. The prophecies say in Isaiah that we are hidden in prison houses. 70% of the jail population is us. And it's because we departed from the way of our God. Go ahead.
But while they departed, but when they departed from the way which he appointed them,
When we departed from his laws, statutes, and commandments, hold this right quick. Hold this right quick. Don't go nowhere. And go to Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15.
From the Apocrypha and the Bible.
The Apocrypha is in the Bible.
I understand that, but the Bible now they don't have the Apocrypha in it.
Yeah, you gotta get the Toby, give me let me see your sword. Let me see your sword.
Yes, sir.
He actually got the one with everything in there. He actually got it, the one where nothing is missing. So if you look over here, he got it off the line. You got it costs more than a regular Bible because you got to pay for the hidden knowledge. See, first Ezra, second Ezra, Tobit. This is what we all read. Judah. So and pick up where we so we can get the thought back. All right. Pick it up so we can get the thought back. So then go to Deuteronomy.
The book of Judah, chapter 5 and verse 17.
So watch this. Come on.
And while they sin not before their God,
He said when we sin not against our God, when we was in line with our God and his ways,
they prospered.
we prospered. We ruled the world. Remember, under King Solomon and King David, we've had dominion over the whole world. Under Adam and Eve, we had the whole world. Them was our people. We had the whole world. We ruled under them. But when we did what?
While they sinned not before their God,
While we did what God told us to do,
they prospered.
we prospered. We ruled the world.
Because the God that hated iniquity
Because the God that hated iniquity, which is sin,
was with them.
he was with us. And when he with us, can't nobody touch us. But watch, they're going to say that later on in the chapter and later on in the verse. Come on.
But when they departed from the way
But when we departed from the way,
which he appointed them,
come on,
they were destroyed in many
so
battles.
we were destroyed in many battles across every forefront. Look at it right now. Look at the political battle. For example, we're getting crushed. Look at the economical battle. We're getting crushed. Spiritual battle. We're getting crushed because we depart from what God tells us to do. Go to Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15 right quick.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15.
And it was a warning for Moses all the way from the beginning. Read.
But it shall come to pass if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God,
He said, if you won't hearken unto God, come on,
to observe to do all his commandments
read.
and his statutes, which I command thee this day,
The way that he gave us, his law, statutes, and commandments. Come on.
that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
Saying the same thing, that you're going to lose many battles. Right. All these curses are going to come upon you and it's going to overtake you. In every battle that you try to fight without me, you're going to lose. Right. Read.
Cursed shall he be in the city.
Cursed shall we be in the city. What city we in? Sacramento. What do you see a majority of the people that's in poverty? Us. He said, cursed shall you be in the city. I mean, ain't we the last ones hired and the first ones fired? Cursed shall you be in the city. Then look, my boy, you own a business. But don't you gotta go get hairspray? Yes, sir. All of this stuff from who? You gotta go get it from somebody that's not your people. That's gonna condone into them and their nation and to continue to destroy yours. Because that's what they're teaching their kids. The rich and the leader of the world, they send their kids to school and then they teach them this to know how to keep a foot on our necks. Read.
Cursed shalt thou be in the city.
Cursed shall you be in the city.
And cursed shalt thou be in the field.
Cursed shall you be in the field. Look at when we first got here, 1619. We was all in cotton fields. Right. When you bring it up to today, your work field, I got a brother that got a bachelor's degree and can't find a job for nothing. Right. What you go to school for? Because cursed shall you be in the city, cursed shall you be in the field. In your work field, in the cotton field, in the cotton gins, in the sugarcane fields, strawberry fields. Go ahead. Go jump over to one more.
The key in the beginning.
Huh?
You said the key in the beginning. It's a mindset. Your mind is gone. They got control of you, so you already want to do what the white man said. Go find you a job. Right. There's a song. I don't know who y'all listen to, but it's a song that makes me think about this. People look for a job, but they don't look for God. Because you look for God, He'll give you what you need.
Exactly.
So.
But a lot of people, this is my point. A lot of our people, they look for God in all the wrong places. Right? You get what I'm saying? Because nowhere in this Bible does it says to be a part of any denomination. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? No, you can't find Christianity in here. Mm-hmm. You can't find Seventh-day Adventists in here. Mm-hmm. You can't find Pentecostal in here. Mm-hmm. But this is what our people go to seek God, mm-hmm. not knowing that is pagan in itself. Mm-hmm. Because they're not teaching the book. Mm-hmm. They actually teach you to go against the book. Because what do they say? Yes. They say all God's laws are done away with. Mm-hmm. But the book don't say that. Mm-hmm. And nowhere in the book, from front to back, it don't say that God's laws have been abolished. Mm-hmm. It tell you the wages of sin is what? Yeah. Which is a judgment for doing sin. Mm-hmm. And that's why we in this dead estate that we read about in First Maccabees. Mm-hmm. Because we're not doing what we're supposed to be doing. We're not living up to the aspect. That's like, you know about dogs, right? That's like what's a popular dog these days? A bully, right? Yeah, pit bull, right?
Bully, pit bull, yeah.
A bully pit bull. Mm-hmm. Is you gonna take your bully pit bull and mix it with a chihuahua? Hell no, you ain't gonna do that. It's an ugly mix. It's going against the grain. It's going against the code. Yeah. And that's what we doing. We out here mixing and mingling with these other nations, right. Not knowing that was the first sin that got us kicked out. And the whole world flooded in the first place. Because we're not valuing ourselves. This ain't something that just was right now. Our forefathers been going through this. We've been going through this. And it's always been, and it's always us wanting to be like the oppressor. Proverbs 3:31. Yeah. Proverbs 3:31.
Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 31.
Come on.
It say, envy thou not the oppressor.
Scripture say don't envy the oppressor. Don't want what they want. This envy is why we in the condition that we in right now. Because hold that, go to 2 Kings, no 1 Kings, about when we wanted an earthly king. You know what I want?
All right. That's 1 Samuel.
1 Samuel, that's right. It says in 1 Samuel, around chapter 8. Yeah. 1 Samuel chapter 8 and like.
Is that
5?
This book here? Is this like the pages that's missing out of this book?
Yeah, that's what I'm going to show you. This has everything.
So these was taken out of that.
Yeah, this goes dead smack in the middle. Look, I'll show you this. Look. The Apocrypha. Show them this book. Yeah. This one. This is up.
Okay, so this was taken out of this.
Yes.
Yeah. So
I never
between
knew that.
between the Old Testament here and the New Testament, there's a Greek captivity that was taken out. So that's why when you read Jew nor Greek, it's talking about the Greeks that's
Talk about the history in this
yeah,
book right
and
here.
if I take this history out, I can confuse you. You know what I'm saying? So once you get this back, it's like, oh, like we say we Americans, right? We're not American by nationality. We have American citizenship. Right. So our people call ourselves American. That's what they was doing in
Back
Rome.
then.
They was calling themselves Greek, but they wasn't Greek by blood.
That's a series that's coming out that's going to further expose white supremacy. Nothing new that we ain't been doing for 20 years at IUIC.
Seriously. Love thy neighbor as thyself.
Y'all see that? The Bible says you are supposed to love your neighbor as yourself. But guess what? The majority of these Christian churches and the majority of these individualites, y'all don't apply the commandments.
That they may recover themselves out of Satan's trap. That's why Christ said, ye shall know the truth and the truth shall make you free, because you're under the snare of the white man, of his agenda.
So during that time, they were worshiping the woman, right? Just like back in the time of the Babylonians. This place is what? Spiritual Egypt, right?
Hey, his soul ain't upright. His soul is not. You gotta think about it. The Arabians that's talking about killing and bombing this country, they don't do nothing to it.
Show every Sunday at 7 o'clock. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. We'll be back next week. Until then, stay in the spirit.
What is our nationality? And before we go into the topic, I want to know what from your background or religious background or whatever spiritual background, what is our nationality? I want to know from you. I want to know from you. You tell me, and then we'll respond and edify. All right. So I'll ask the owner first. What is our nationality?
I grew up in a Christianity household, so that's what I grew up to know. Just probably 4 or 5 years ago, I've traveled. I've been to Thailand. I've been seeing different cultures, and it's just opened my mind up to be like, is there more? Everybody has their on every side of the world they have their own religion, but I wanted to know for myself, where did it come from? Where did it start? So when I went out there and I seen these people and I seen the way that they move, it's like for me it's a culture shock. Yeah, it's a religion shock for me too because I didn't know. So when you just explain what was taken out, it makes sense to me. Yeah. So like I said, I grew up in the Bay Area, Christian household. I was trying to get my mom to come down here too because she, that's who taught me the Bible. But I'm like, ain't nobody read that whole Bible. Right. You sat down and from word to word. So when they go up there and they teach it and they preach it, it's just like they had to do some history lessons on something. So it was just. When I seen that, like I said, it just was a shock to me too.
So, to an extent, yes, it is because they don't know what they're talking about, and they'll read this scripture right here,
Galatians chapter 3 and verse 28.
Mm-hmm.
There's neither Jew nor Greek. Mm-hmm. There's neither bond nor free. Mm-hmm. There's neither male nor female. For you're all one in Christ Jesus. And if you be Christ, then are ye Abraham's seed.
Then they shut the book. And make it seem like it's talking about everybody, right? But they don't have the history on why Paul is calling them Greeks. Right. So how can you give the people the whole story? Right. You see what I'm saying? And give them the whole backstory if you don't have the history on it. And that was their purpose. That was the scholars' purpose of taking this history out, so they can confuse us. All right. So if it was talking about everybody. Why is it just specific on Greeks? Why didn't it say Jew and everybody? Or at this time, he was in Rome. Jews and Romans. You see what I'm saying?
I get you.
But if they don't know the history behind what's going on and why we were being called Greeks, I'll just get it right quick.
We gotta
Give me first Maccabees 141. I want 141, and then I want all praise. I want 141, and then second Maccabees 6 and 9.
Yeah.
Watch this.
So first Maccabees chapter 1.
This is the history why they was calling it, why Paul was saying Jew nor Greek. Come on.
First Maccabees chapter 1 and verse 41.
Yep.
Moreover, King Antiochus,
which is a Greek king. He was a Greek king. Read.
Wrote to his whole
He
kingdom
wrote to everybody in his kingdom, saying what?
that all should be one people.
That all should be called by the name of Greek. All should become one people. All should be named. All should be Greeks. Just like right here, right now.
Yeah.
All of us are called what? Americans.
Right.
It's the same thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Read.
And everyone should leave his laws.
And everyone should leave his laws. Whose laws? God's laws. Yeah, because they know.
We're gonna go
Remember,
to church on
when I read
Sundays.
Judah, when we walk with our God, we prosper. So he's writing to his whole kingdom that the Israelites, everybody should leave his laws, especially the Israelites. Come on.
So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king.
And everybody agreed. Come on.
Yea, many also of the Israelites.
Many also who?
Of the Israelites.
Did what?
Consented to his religion.
Consented to his religion, which is his nationality, which is being a Greek.
Right.
A lot of us conform to that according to this history. Is that it?
And sacrifice unto idols.
And did what?
And sacrifice unto idols.
Meaning taking us from our God.
And profane the Sabbath.
And buying and selling and doing all sorts of evil on the Sabbath day, which is Saturday. Is that it? Now jump to 6 and 6. Second Maccabees 6 and 6.
I was just asking me that question yesterday. If God loves us, the way He let us go through all these crazy steps, I mean, shit, you get disobedient to His laws, and if He chose you to be a special people, how much more you think your punishment gonna be if you mess up?
Exactly.
Hey, yo, this scripture I never heard of Maccabee before. Like I've never like
you see what I'm saying?
Maccabees chapter 6 and verse 6.
Come on.
It says, neither is it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days.
You see the same thing that we just read in 141. It said it wasn't lawful for us to keep Sabbath days. Why? Because Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that everybody needs to be Greek.
We live in proof that plan worked. We all became one people. Ain't that like America? Everybody become one no matter who come from China.
What you got to remember is what nation of people is Greek?
What nation?
Yeah. They're white people.
And in the day of the king's birth, every month, they were brought to by bitter constraint.
Wait a minute. Did y'all catch that? Read it again. Let me see if they caught it.
And in the day of the king's birth, every month, they were brought by bitter constraint.
We were brought by bitter constraint. What is bitter constraint? Forced. We were forced to do what? To celebrate the king's birthday. Showing you what? Hey, showing you what though? That we didn't celebrate birthdays. That wasn't our custom. You see that? They forced us to do all type of stuff. And now we do it willingly. They're not killing us for calling ourselves Jews no more because you don't know you the Jew.
Right.
They're not killing you for not celebrating the Sabbath no more because you now know. Now you think the Sabbath is Sunday. Now you conform to his ways subconsciously. He ain't gotta go to Deuteronomy 28:48 right quick. Deuteronomy 28:48, man. Because that's a prophecy. Remember, do we have yokes of iron on our necks now? We once did. Why? Right, but why though? Why don't we have them on now?
Because He brought us out of that affliction.
Nah, because we conform. It's just like a dog. You know about dogs. You put a training chain on a dog. He walk in front of you, you yank him.
Oh, I see what you mean.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Every time you do something bad, you yank him. And then eventually, what do?
You become obedient to it.
He comes obedient to it, so now you can do what?
Reprogram.
You can take the choke chain off his neck now, because now he's going to listen to you and everything you do.
Yeah. He won't go past the door.
He won't go past the door.
Yeah.
He going to scratch at it every time he got to use the bathroom. He won't walk in front of you none unless you tell him.
Right. You know how that happened to us today? We so trained that we, like a dog, he won't bite the master. He bite another dog. Mm-hmm. He got us so trained that we'll fight each other we'll mug each other. But like if I'm driving down the street and I see another brother and we catch eyes, it's like, what he looking at? But I'll look at a Chinese man on the other side of me, I'll see him, and no big deal. It's like an energy there that they bred in us, all through Willie Lynch.
And that's trained. And that's a heavy point that you say that, because even like it's a neighborhood, Oak Park, right? You don't know about Oak Park, right? Yeah. When you somebody from the South Side or G Parkway can't go to Oak Park, right? They see each other, it's automatic confliction. Right. But when the white man put up Starbucks and now it's white people running up and down the street, it's like they walking dogs. Yeah. You ain't got nothing to say to them. And it's like that all over the place. In Oakland, in Richmond, all over the place. We all act like that. But remember, it said, go read Deuteronomy 28:48.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 48.
Come on.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemy.
Come on.
Which the Lord shall send against thee.
The Lord sent our enemies against us. Why? Because we didn't keep his commandments. Come on.
In hunger.
And
in thirst.
And in
nakedness.
Everything we want in this captivity that we need to live, who do we gotta go get it from? Food. Are we buying food from people that look like us? No. Hell no. Who's the owner of these stores that we buy food from?
And I got a good one that relates to the brother, right? You a business owner, right? But you still have to get a license, no matter how long you've been cutting hair. You probably cut hair better than anybody, but you still have to go to their school to get a certificate, which is permission to say you can operate here. Then you got to get a building permit to say, well, this is zoned for that. You can do this in this area. You can't. You know what I'm saying? You still got to go to your enemy, even though you're making your own money. You got to go to your enemy in want of everything.
It's about to say that.
Yeah,
Watch, it's about to say that. Go ahead.
It say, therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee. In hunger.
When you want food, you got to go to somebody that's not your people. Come on.
And in thirst.
And when you thirsty, you got to get Alhambra, Aquafina. Hell, you don't pay your water bill. They turning it off. You got to get that from your enemy. Come on.
And in nakedness.
You want the very clothes on our backs. Guess what? We made this, right? But who do we get this material from? Them. We get this material from them. You would think out of 250, 300 years of picking cotton, they would have gave us a cotton field.
Right.
Just so we can make our own stuff. No, the prophecies say we gonna want and want of clothing, you gotta go to them. Come on.
And in want of all things.
And in want of what?
In want of all things.
Going back to what you just said. If you want that barber license, you want a building to set up in. You want hell, you gotta have permission to die.
Right.
You gotta go get a death certificate to die.
You gonna build a house, but you ain't gonna close.
You mean to tell me I gotta get a certificate to bury my loved one?
Education.
I gotta go through all of your brainwashing to get an education? Come on, man, go ahead.
And he,
the same enemy,
shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
The same enemy gonna do what?
Put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
Until when?
Until he have destroyed thee.
You see that? The dog.
Right.
The yoke of iron upon your neck is that choke chain.
Right.
And he took it off after when?
Until he have destroyed thee.
After you done now, you destroyed now.
Right.
You gonna do whatever master say. You ain't gonna go against him. Now, that's why ain't none of us got yokes of iron on our necks now.
Well trained. Who needs the Ku Klux Klan anymore when we kill each other more? They can kick back and let us do it for ourselves.
And it's because
we're well trained.
And it's because that old mindset. On the plantations, you did wrong. They gonna beat you and then put the yoke of iron back on your neck.
Right.
Then they
give you. You see that?
Change the word of the Bible.
Look, it's crazy.
Y'all type in flyers.
Y'all type in yoke of iron on y'all.
It's on the flyer.
This yours right here on your flyer. Yeah, so right here is illustration. This really happened. It's like really so-called black history. We had yokes of iron on our neck with bells on them. You know what I'm